So, okay, chaliye. So really sorry for the break. I think this connectivity is a big issue here in Ghaziabad right now. So I was talking about the importance of MOOCs. I'll quickly take across these three types, then I'll move to the architecture of MOOCs. That would be more important. So there are three types of MOOCs. One is connectivist MOOC. It is started initially. As I said, connectivist MOOC would be having, there would be no teacher. There is a group, let's say there are 20 students, 30 participants, they have gathered and they are working on a platform, they're working on a course. If you read the third point, dual role as a teacher and learner, there is no teacher. Aapas mein everyone is interacting and we are trying to learn. So one of the best examples for connectivist MOOC was the last slide, 2010 course on network training, which was, if you remember my first slide, Stephen Dovens started this. And but there is a problem with this, why we wanted the second one. Now this XMOOC is important. It is extended or customized MOOCs. When we say customized, it is customized according to your needs. The type of course you want to study, the type of course that your group of 40, 50, 100 students want to learn. How did we agree upon a topic today? If you were 30 students sitting today for this session at HRDC, it must have been decided somewhere that this is a refresher course. It is on such and such topic, and we are going to teach this topic under this. So this is a structured in nature. You exactly knew what you are supposed to study today. There is a knowledge duplication or transfer. There is instructor-centric approach. In the previous one, there was no instructor, but here there is instructor-centric approach. Look at the last line. MITx introduced computer science using Python, and there were 1.2 million enrollments till 2018. So this is the kind of coverage that XMOOCs can extend to. Coursera, Udacity, they're all making use of XMOOC. There is third type of MOOCs also, which is a combination of these two, hybrid, XMOOCs plus CMOOCs. Here, I just, when we lost the connection, I was just explaining, like, if we can combine these two together, there is a teacher also, there are groups of students there, we are connecting and we are interacting among ourselves. We are trying to learn from each other also, along with the teacher, we are learning in a group. So this is hybrid MOOCs. This is the most important part of today's presentation. It is the architecture of MOOCs. There are 6 components and we'll be reading them from the bottom. So if we look at one, the first part in designing a MOOC, in developing a MOOC for your organization, for your college, the first part is educational resources will have to be produced. Educational resources will have to be prepared. This is like course material, your laws, bylaws, everything. The course material in form of printed booklets or the online stuff, like writing it on the internet and having online delivery. So educational resources, as we'll see in the next slide, is a very big challenge when we are designing a MOOC. It's a big challenge because we'll understand the next slide. Like, as I said, my participants of my MOOC course, I started a MOOC course for your Sonipat College, HRDC. Now, one of the participants is from China, one is from Algeria, one is from Ethiopia, one is from Germany, one is from Japan, let's say, for example. Now, the educational resources will have to be developed keeping in mind the diverse field, the diverse population that you'll be having, the strength that you'll be having in your course. So not only this diversification, the diverse backgrounds, even as I said, the mental state also is different. Some students pick up very quickly. Some are toppers. They pick up even before a teacher delivers the entire lecture. That student understands and keeps on, puts up some very wonderful questions. But there are students who are average students who take time to study. They'll go home, study the topic, and they'll come up to the teacher and say, "Sir, we have a question. We didn't understand this yesterday." There might be students who might not understand anyhow. And this is one of the problems I discussed while discussing the previous slides. If there are 1,000 enrollments in my course initially, what happens when the certificate is awarded, when we have a function, when we have a valedictory function, out of those 1,000, around 100 or 50 or 70 students are getting the certificate. The rest begged out. They didn't appear for the final test. They didn't appear for the final certification, or initially only they backed out. They don't want to waste time because they said they didn't understand the course at all. Now, this is because, as I said, it can be language problem, it can be the mental problem also, like there's different standards for different people. So these designing such kind of courses is always a big challenge. So number one, educational resources, as we'll see, will be very difficult to design. Interactions, second. This is second component of MOOCs. You will have to have interactions with your participants. It has to be two-way interaction. You deliver a lecture, they ask you questions, you ask them something, they deliver. So this is a kind of a, let's say, hybrid MOOCs or extended MOOCs there. So you will have to have continuous interaction. Over the next slides, we'll look into examples on interactions also. We have very real life discussion on that. Then after your educational resources, and then you have taught them, you had interactions with them. The third component is the most important component of this MOOCs, and that is assessment evaluation. Now, when you design these courses, you keep on assessing, like you're doing the refresher course or the orientation program here in HRDC, you will be assessed. You will be given constant tests. So you are being assessed, let's say on a daily basis, or every 3 days, 4 days, you are being assessed out of your 21 days or 1 month course. You are being assessed regularly. Then finally, you are evaluated. So it's the same holds for MOOCs also. You are being taught, you are given the material, you are given the online material, your sessions are being given to you, the classes is being taken now, assessment part is there, evaluation part is there. Similarly, fourth important component of MOOCs would be identify management. Now, we'll have to keep track of when you enroll for a course, you get the roll number, you get the enrollment number, or you get some ID of the institute. Why? It is because to identify you. Let's say someone with the name Ajit. Now he appears, he has his identity. So he'll be given a different number. So Saurabh will be given some different identity. So everyone will have an identity when you are going for this course. Now that's where the ethics also come into picture. Like I have seen my students, there was a group of students, they enrolled, one or two enrolled for the course, and the entire group was taking help, was studying the study material. So what happened that a student name XYZ gave the login and the ID. You are given a login and ID to identify you. Just as आपका Facebook पे और किसी भी उसमें you have a login ID and then the password. So the login ID and the password is passed on from one student to other student so that यार तू भी free में पढ़ लेना. मैं तो कर रहा हूँ, मैंने पैसा दिया है, but you can study that. So this happens. This is another big challenge. Why lower number of people registered for a course? Because let's say out of a group of 10 students, one paid for the course, 9 are getting the study material and they're studying from that. So that's where the ethics will have to come into picture. We'll have to motivate the participants, like you'll have to get into the course if you want to have a certificate, if you want to have a real knowledge, hands-on knowledge on your technicality that you want to achieve from this course, you will have to enroll for a full course. Then another component of MOOCs would be learning analytics. Now, this is important to make your MOOC successful. We all know about data analytics. We all know about, so if we talk about analytics, why analytics is there in MOOCs? Why? The answer is very simple. Suppose I started a MOOC course and I'm just concentrating on Nigeria. Students are not enrolling. Similarly, if I hear about the situation, if I read from the newspaper, Syria is a troubled country. Syria is facing US attacks. There, the education is in total turmoil. Their internet connections are very slow. So if we can target those students, if we can target students, participants from a place where online education is a requirement now, is a compulsion now, just as Corona made everyone to sit at home in lockdown. So now if we can just focus on who can take up my course, which university students can take up this course. IITians very rarely will go for it. But if they come to my university, they'll have 10 students. If they go to, let's say, another university in Meerut, or somewhere you move somewhere down the line in UP or in Haryana, in remote part, you will be getting more enrollments. So we are trying to, MOOC will try to learn from analytics, we'll try to learn from data and figures where it will be successful. And if we can combine analytics with this MOOCs architecture, we can have a successful system where even the organization is earning, organization is benefiting. Similarly, they can pass on the benefits to the students. So students can get cheap certifications, can get certifications for a lower amount, where you're not paying lakhs of rupees for getting a course in Coursera. You're paying this much of a money and you're getting that course. So learning analytics would be one of the components of this. And the sixth important component of MOOCs is, so please, when you have this slides, these presentation with you, please go through them. And the last module is certification. So once you have studied, you are evaluated, you assessed yourself, and you finally get a certification. And so many of us put our certificates on the Facebook, on LinkedIn, and for every social media. You can see certificates. I have completed this course, I have completed this course, I have taken 15 days course in this, successfully defended this, successfully done this. So this is the kind of advancement in MOOCs. This is a kind of architecture that is being followed. There are 6 points that will be now taken care of in future slides. If you look at the left-hand side, now MOOCs is an organized education online event equivalent to conducting face-to-face course in a class. It's a replacement to your face-to-face delivery. A teacher is standing teaching 60 students. Now I am teaching you. I'm sitting on my terminal at my workplace, at my home also, and you are there sitting in Sonipat, or you're sitting at your homes only. Right now it's online system, so you are taking up the sessions. It runs over the MOOC period. Now there is a specific period given. It's a 15-day course, it's a 30-day course, it's a 6 months course. So that is, and involves carrying out and management of activities related to MOOC event. So if you look at this, this was the first component we talked about, educational resources. Educational resources will have to be developed. If you look at the screen, challenges in arranging educational resources. So there are always challenges in arranging educational resources. Books were there initially. Now these same books will have to be converted into online thing. It's a big challenge, takes time, takes money also. So you will have to be prepared. Like, as I said, your audience is very diversified. Your audience is from different countries, from different backgrounds, from different cultures. Some are from Islamic countries, some are from, let's say, leftist countries, some are from the moderate countries like India. And so you have a whole lot of people who are totally diversified. So it's always a big challenge in arranging the educational resources. Then instructor-led educational resources, you will have to convert to online. You will have to coverage extent of the activities, effectiveness of online version. How effective is my online version? Books are always effective. There is no doubt about it. If we study from a book, we get 100% from a book. But if we are studying from an online version of that, is it effective? Are we able to transfer the knowledge? Is there a personal bonding? Now let me tell you, now there is a personal bonding between you and me, because we are attached to this organization. I'm attached to HRDC. I've been coming regularly over there. Now I know the students. I know how well you are from different colleges. You're wonderful teachers from wonderful colleges, and you're all intelligent. You are all very risk-taking. You are all very challenging. You're all very interactive. So am I able to have a personal bond with you? Can I have a personal bond with you? Can my MOOC also have that personal bond? Will my MOOCs be able to fill that bonding? So that is a big, big, big challenge while we are designing this. Behavioral changes are always there. Some students complain, like in MOOCs also, it's been observed, I've gone through the literatures and all, they complain that the teachers, they are not teaching to our level. Our level is different. And this is, again, I said, the mental framework of different students is always different. So it would always be very difficult to emulate an instructor while designing a MOOC. So we'll discuss more on this in the slides. They're all interrelated. So I'll give you just a few seconds to just go through the screen. Challenges in arranging educational resources. The background is a big problem. Learning aptitudes, as I said, is a very big problem. Someone's aptitude skills are very high, someone's aptitude skills are very slow. Communication skills are very different. Someone might be very fluent speaker, and I might be a very average speaker, but there can be fluent speakers who speak fluent English. And when I listen to them, I said, yeah, they are speaking like anything. If you ever listen to Shah Rukh Khan, you would say, yeah, his pronunciation is very good, his accent is very good. Amir Khan, if you listen to him, it's very different. So
सर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
I lost that connection somewhere. Just a moment. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
हाँ चिराग भाई, स्लाइड यही थी चिराग भाई? Okay, I'll try to cover if one or two slides have overlapped. So designing educational resources would always be difficult because different kind of background of students, different background of participants. The learning aptitude is different in a way, like everyone is having a different aptitude. Some are intelligent, some are super intelligent, some are average. So communication skills, as I said, is different. I may be from a village, I may be from a very small city. So communication skills are always a problem. So I'm telling this because we'll have to design a MOOC according to this. Like it can be average learners program also. So try and develop a MOOC. This is the basic building block, as I said, of developing a MOOC. So they can be fast learners, workload, course plan, progression, duration, everything will have to be kept into mind while doing it, since we are moving from a real life to a video lecture. Now, while designing the system, architecture, we have been just talking about it. In between, if we look at designing of a MOOC, now if I were to design this, आपके HOD आपको call करते हैं, your HOD calls you up and said, okay, यार, can you develop a MOOC? And you're comfortable with that. You say, why not, sir? I can design it. So if you look at this, these are the objectives. Objectives on the left-hand side while designing a MOOC for any kind of development. These would be the objectives: learning objective, transfer knowledge, we have to transfer learning, skill development. We have to achieve skill development. We'll have to inculcate the feeling of critical thinking, application, how to apply behavioral changes we have to deal. So these are the objectives of why we are designing. For that, we'll be learning theories, we'll be studying psychology of students, we'll be trying to learn the managerial skills of students, we'll be looking at the instructor level also, so instructional design models and theories, then media communication theories also we'll have to, while designing we'll have to go through them. Because as I said, right now if connectivity is a problem, it's because right now there is a farmer protest, and that's where the in between they give 2G only, so somewhere down the line we lose connections every now and then. So if this is a second, another very big component in MOOCs, another important characteristic of MOOCs via online is interaction. If you look at the picture, now they're all interacting with the teacher. Now, if you look in the rectangle, which is a blue color rectangle, and if you
Sir, slides are not visible, sir.
एक second, 1 second.
सैनी साहब लंच कर लेते ना।
कर लो डॉक्टर साहब, कर लो।
हाँ ठीक है
जी जितेंद्र जी, अभी करा रहे हैं आपका लंच भी ना।
जितेंद्र जी 10 मिनट और लेंगे, इसके बाद आप लंच करना आराम से, 10-15
जी
मिनट
सर।
और दें। जी जी
नहीं कोई बात नहीं सर, मैं कहा इंटरनेट का इशू है इसलिए।
जी
थोड़ा सी आज प्रॉब्लम
सर,
इंटरनेट है।
प्रोफेसर
मैंने
रजा
दूसरा
खान जी।
कनेक्शन लिया है। जी मैंने दूसरा कनेक्शन लिया हुआ है, जरा सा अब मैं स्टार्ट से कर रहा हूँ उसका।
रजा खान सर नमस्कार।
जी पवन सर नमस्कार।
जी सर, बस आपसे एक विनम्र
कैसे
निवेदन हम ये करेंगे कि अभी हम 135 पे जो अपना लंच कर लेंगे। एक्चुअली क्या हमारा दूसरा सेशन जो स्टार्ट हो रहा है अभी वो 2 बजे स्टार्ट होगा, तो पार्टिसिपेंट को हम एक हाफ एन आवर का ब्रेक देंगे। अगर आप अनुमति दें तो वी कैन
समय जल्द
हैव अनदर सेशन आफ्टर 3 at 3:30 सर।
3:30 ठीक है सर, आधे घंटे काम कर लेते हैं सेशन 3:30
जी
पे, यही
जी,
रोक देता हूँ मैं।
अभी हम जो है ना 135 पे मतलब आफ्टर 5 to 10 मिनट्स हम एक ब्रेक करेंगे, क्योंकि 2 बजे हमारा जो है ना पोस्ट लंच सेशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा।
तो पवन जी मैं लॉग इन करूंगा 3:30 पे इसी उस पे।
राइट सर, राइट सर।
ठीक है सर, ओके सर।
जी अभी हम फिर
मैं
लंच
लॉग इन
कर लेते हैं सर, अगर आप अनुमति दें तो सभी पार्टिसिपेंट।
ओके पवन सर, वील मीट एट 3:30।
थैंक यू सो मच सर।
ओके सर, ओके।
अभी समय हो चला लंच ब्रेक का, और लंच ब्रेक के बाद जैसा कि शेफाली मैम ने बताया होगा, आपको एक लिंक हम देंगे जिससे आप जो जेंडर स्टडीज का जो ग्रुप है वो ज्वाइन करेंगे। एंड 3:30 पे जो है हम फिर से प्रोफेसर रजा खान जी के साथ कनेक्ट होंगे इसी लिंक के माध्यम से, जिससे हम डेली कनेक्ट हो रहे हैं। राइट सर।